Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and today we have the semi-final number 2 with myself versus Fergus. It's shaping up to be a really interesting game. We're going to go through the list. I'm very excited to watch this back, and today I am joined by...
Hi guys, it's Amy. It's really great to be back again.
Hi Amy, welcome back. I hope you're looking forward to this.
Hi.
I pinged you the list earlier, so it'll be interesting to see what you think of those and how this game actually shapes up. So, as a bit of a change from normal, I'm actually going to go through my Imperial list, and Amy is going to try her hand with the Rebel list, which is a bit different. So I'll quickly go through my list, and then we can have a look at what Fergus has got. So, those eagle-eyed out there, you might see we've got some new pilots on the board, but we have 3 TIE Interceptors and the TIE RB for the Empire, with Soontir Fel and Deadeye Shot. We have Sienna Ree from the new Sky Strike pack, and we also have Gideon Hask from the Sky Strike pack. No upgrades on either of those two, but they are supported by the big bag hulking brute of Rampage, with the heavy laser cannon and the target assist MGK 300. So a very fast list with a big heavy hitter in there. Hopefully that's going to work out well for me. But what have I got to contend with though, Amy?
Well, you have got, this is why I'm really excited to see how this plays out. You have got 4 plucky A-Wings and a TIE Fighter. So you've got Hera Syndulla running Hopeful and the Esper Tracers, Ahsoka Tano with Patience, Wedge Antilles and Sabine Wren, both using the Hopeful upgrade, and Captain Rex in the Stolen TIE Fighter.
Yes, so again, we have the 4 main pilots that I think people were excited from Phoenix Cell there, including Hera Syndulla with her interesting ability, I would say. Very, very good ability. As to whether she's going to get a points update, we will have to wait and see, but it is going to be an interesting game, this one. Lots of fast ships on the board trying to chase each other down. Yeah,
I'm really excited. I can't wait.
So, I mean, at first glance, now, bearing in mind, I think we all know that you're an Empire fan, and if you cast your minds back to Game 1, we also know that you're an Interceptor fan, as you flew 5 of them very aggressively in one list. I mean, that was truly impressive. Where would you be putting your flag on this game? Who do you think has probably got the advantage here?
I think in terms of numbers, definitely the Rebels, purely because they have got 5 ships.
Yeah.
And a Force user. However, I know from my own experience of flying the Interceptors that they can be highly maneuverable, very tricksy. They are very good to fly. The only downside of them is, as much fun they are blooming quick to go down because they've only got 3 hull, unfortunately. And then, of course, the TIE RB. With all of that hull, it's going to be quite chunky to get through.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I mean, it is one of the downsides of an Interceptor. You get one bad... You don't really have that safety net there. One bad roll and suddenly it's a god Interceptor. I mean, the A-Wings have got that little bit extra health, which gives them that extra survivability there, and 2 shields. Can't discount the fact that there's 2 shields on there. So it's going to be tricky, but again, these 2 ships have probably got the best dials in the game. In fact, their dials are exactly the same, except the A-Wings have a blue 5 forward instead of the Interceptors 1 5 forward. So very, very similar maneuvers there. It sort of comes down to their ship ability slightly as to who's going to have the advantage there, I think. And Fergus has got them in a very tight formation at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if he tries to keep them in that formation.
It's always very tricky to fly ships in formation, but it does look really cool.
Yeah, especially the formation he's chosen. It is a very tight formation. There's no normally you see that sort of template gap spacage in there, but he's got them very close together. Looks like obviously he's barrel rolled Rex over to provide a bit more space. We'll see if Wedge follows Sabine there with a boost, which I'm not sure if it would fit. So I think Fergus might be breaking up the formation early to get a wider spread on his arcs there.
Yeah, it would make sense, especially with the 3 interceptors right at the top, and it looks as if the Rampage, he's going up towards the top of the board, isn't he?
Yeah, he's currently facing
sideways
the board at the moment, yeah. So looking like he's wanting to get back into some form of formation so they can concentrate their fire. I think looking at this, I think for me, when I was playing this, my first thought was I want to concentrate fire. I want to take one thing out, get everything to rail in on it. I mean, the advantage is I've got some very good ships that work well when it comes to concentrated fire. We've obviously got Sienna Rhee being an I6 interceptor. No upgrades on there, but she is a very powerful ship. And she's one that you definitely want to be looking to shoot at an enemy first. Because if she does take someone out and causes that final damage, she does get a stress token, which isn't always what you want on an interceptor. Yes, they can get rid of it, but if they've already stressed themselves through their inbuilt ship ability of auto thrusters, a double stress is not good. Then you've got Soon Tifel. I love Soon Tifel. I mean, everyone should love Soon Tifel. He's brilliant. But I think the real key piece there is Gideon, where after Sienna and Soontir have caused damage on the ship, Gideon then gets an additional die if he's shooting at a damaged defender. So it's very much like a 1-2, and then Gideon is that uppercut that you don't expect. And then you've got Rampage, who's just in there to be big and scary and fun.
And shoot cannons.
Yeah. But I do love the Type Brute. It's such a cool ship.
It looks cool. I mean, I remember when I actually physically got it, and it looked cool. It was a lot bigger than what I thought it would be. And it caused the turrets move in the middle of the model. I love it so much.
Yeah, it is a massive ship. I mean, when I first held it, I was like, whoa, that is huge. And yeah. I know what you mean. That rotating turret, I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous about it because it looks like it could break so easily, but also is so cool. Like, it's just, I like ships that have like a really interesting and cool moving part. And I know we've got quite a few now, but I still think there's more that we could get out of those. I mean, you've got the Type Brute, the Lambda, the Upsilon with their wings, the X-Wings as well, the Sith Infiltrator, the Striker. I'm trying to think, there's other ones that have...
Upsilon?
Yeah. I know that the new Ghost, you've got the Shooterpeed that actually comes out of it and docks, which is really cool, as well as the Lando Falcon, it has that as well. So I like all these new ships that have moving parts on them that are actually part of what they do. It's just an interesting thing to have on them. But looks like we've got a bit of a colour wheel forming down the bottom there from Fergus.
Yeah, it looks as if they're trying to scatter a little bit, and also, if trying to avoid those asteroids as much as possible.
Yeah, it makes it difficult. I think where I'm in a formation, it's probably a little bit easier for Fergus to read roughly where I'm going to go. But now that he's scattering them, that makes it so much harder. I mean, look, that's a big move there from Sabine. Really covering that quick turn from my interceptors. And then you've still got Wedge who can move out the other way, Ahsoka and Hera who can come down the middle. So much ball space that Fergus can cover right now.
Yeah, and Rex can quite easily catch up with Sabine as well. Go straight through the middle of those asteroids.
Yeah. Interesting positioning there from Wedge. I'm assuming we're going to see a barrel roll in a moment from him. Or is he deciding just to stay there? No, he's staying there.
Yeah, staying there with an evade.
That's an interesting option. Again, maybe anticipating myself turning in earlier there. But I'm not going to lie, I wasn't quite ready to turn in yet. I definitely didn't want to be going straight down the middle of those obstacles with all those A-Wings there. Tricky position that the Brute's in now, though. Because I think he's probably going to be at range 3 of Sabine and Wedge. Gas cab coverage, though, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, still a bonus.
But while we're waiting for the action to come along, have you got Hera's ability to hand Amy? Because I think it'd be quite interesting to discuss that.
Yep, so Hera's ability is while another friendly ship at range 1 to 2 defends or performs an attack, you may transfer one of your focus tokens, evade tokens, or locks to that ship. That sounds quite cool.
Yeah, it is a very good ability to have. It has been updated slightly with a slight change of wording from AMG there. Personally, I'm still trying to actually figure it out myself. This was the first time I'd actually come up against it, and I was a bit wary of it because I wasn't quite sure what to take from it. Especially where you've got Ahsoka in there as well, and Wedge. Wedge's ability is just, it's a bit rude, so it makes it tricky knowing where to aim for first. And I think as well, with Hera being an I6, she's the one that I'm probably the most scared of. So that errata on Hera, basically the errata adds a specific timing window of an attack during which it can be used. And as before, this ability can only be used once per attack. And it's during the modified dice step that you can do that. Oh, there we go. Range 3 from Wedge. Ooh, that's an early hit crit. Looks like saving. Am I going to save that focus? I wonder. Crits early on. Yep, just saving, using that focus. So it's just the crit. No, just double checking all my cards to see if there's anywhere I can get an extra token. Unfortunately, not in this case. And that's the first crit of the game, which is can't quite. It's a loose stabilizer. That's not good. After you execute a non-straight maneuver, suffer 1 hit damage and repair this card. I mean, I suppose getting that on the first damage isn't so bad. I've still got a fair bit of health there to get around that, but still not ideal.
No, I suppose it could have been worse. It could have been direct hit, fuel leak, hull breach, the dreaded ones, but crits still aren't good.
Yeah, hull breach would have been very bad. Oh, and a blank and a double focus there from Sabine, so that's not too bad. And that would be all of the attacks this round. So, despite these ships being very fast, a slowish opening. First attack after 15 minutes, so going to have to wait a bit for some more action there. But I do quite like this matchup, actually. Like Interceptors versus A-Wings. I think it's that sort of, right, which is the better ship? Both are really fast. Both are very nimble. I think the interesting thing you've got to look at is that the Interceptors have 3 attack, whereas the A-Wings only have 2. But the A-Wings have 4 health, 2 of which being shields. So which then has the advantage there? It's such a tough one to call.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine for you, and I know you're an Imperial player, so it kind of goes without saying, but I think for you, would it be the Interceptor because of that more aggressive stance with the 3 attack, do you think?
For me personally, yeah. But I mean, as we saw in the first game of the Con Wars, I do fly quite aggressively. But I think that's more my playing style. Is I like to fly more aggressively than defensively. I generally like having more ships on the board or more dice on the board or a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
So yeah, even though the A-Wings have got that extra health in terms of shields, and Ahsoka, you know, with the Force as well to help her out, the A-Wings will be able to hold their own. But for me personally, it has to be the Interceptors.
Yeah. And we say about aggressive, that's a very aggressive push there from Sabine.
Whoa.
Looking like she's very much wanting to try and catch Rampage. Ooh.
She's a brave Mandalorian.
Yeah. And you've got a wedge right in there as well. That is, yeah, very aggressive there. So if Rampage hasn't gone past, he's going to be taking 2 shots. Really close range there.
Oh, yes.
And there we go. There's that hard one in there from Gideon. Will we see a conga line from Sienna and Sunta, or will they try and swing further out? So that's a wait and see there. But yeah, that's very aggressive from Sabina Wedge there. And there's just a straight maneuver from Rampage. Obviously, with his loose stabilizer, ideally he's looking to do that straight. And are we rotating the arc?
No, focused? Are we focused?
No, I think what actually happened there was a slight mistake in the reading of the card there. So with Rampage's ability, after you execute speed 3 to 4 maneuver, you may choose a ship in your turret arc at range 0 to 1. No, that's not quite that. Sorry, that's his ability. That doesn't take effect. It's the... No, it looks like it did just take a... I think it was a rotate to red calculate that he actually took there. Or white calculate because of the target assist. Which makes sense, because that way he gets his arc facing backwards and gets that calculate. It's hard because obviously you can't see... If this was in real life, you'd be able to see someone rotating the arc on there, but you can't, it's completely blocked by those massive wings on there.
Yeah. I'm admiring how close Ahsoka has got to that debris cloud.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Another one of those TTS moves where you're just like, wow, you would not be able to pull that off in real life.
No.
Like, getting so close to obstacles like that, they would just get knocked. It was very impressive. And also how tight their formation is there.
It's sort of like a wiggly A-wing conga line.
Yeah. And Sienna moving round. Not a terrible position. I think she'd prefer to be a little bit closer right now. So will we see just a focus? I think that puts her in an awkward position for Suntir, who's bumped. But it looks like we're definitely going to get more of an engagement this turn. And Fergus does have the initiative, so he does get the option to shoot first. And...
Is that in?
No, it's not.
Oh.
It is just out.
Looking for Rampage.
Yeah. But Suntir does sneak range 3 on Hera. She will get all of the evade dice with the gas cloud, range 3, the 3 basic, and also a terrible shot from Suntir. So that's not going to go through because she has the focus and also the gas cloud to change it. So absolutely no worries there for Hera. But rinse and repeat from Sienna, this time with a focus. So will her dice do nothing again? And again, absolutely fine for Hera there. What would have been nice is to try and strip that token from Hera, because then that stops her being able to actually pass that around. So token stripping Hera Syndulla is always a good thing. Now we've got Ahsoka. And who is she going at? Is she going for Gideon or is she going for Rampage? 4 evade, so that'll be going in at Gideon there. 5 evade dice even, so that's definitely at Gideon. So, yeah, no point spending any tokens there. Gideon with a focus and the gas cloud. You need lots of hits there. This is where it's going to be painful. Wedge Antilles on Rampage with Wedge's ability to reduce my evade dice to 0. Thanks, Wedge. At least it was only a soft hit this time. I think Wedge's ability in an A-Wing really elevates that A-Wing. It negates the deficit of only having 2 attack dice by reducing the agility of your opponent. Obviously, it's better in an X-Wing because you get more attack dice, but in the A-Wing you're more maneuverable, so it's a really, really interesting combination. All that's a good attack.
That was quite good.
Where were those dice earlier? That is exactly... So, and having to spend the focus token there. No, just spending that evade token and saving the focus token. And trying to steal all of the tokens as he's taking them away there. And looks like Rampage did not have... No, Rampage does have range 1 arc on Sabine there. So that'll be his regular attack. And... oh, that's a good attack. 3 hits. Oh, that's a brilliant attack. Spending that evade token, a shield down, 1 shield down on Sabine. Getting there. Slowly but surely whittling them down. This is where it's going to get dangerous. Range 1 back into Rampage. At least they got an evade dice this time.
Yes. Could have been Rage 1 with Wedge. Could have been worse.
It just doesn't even know what they're thinking about. So using Hera's focus there in the modified dice, so that's another hit crit onto Rampage.
Not bad.
And that crit, I believe, is damaged engine this time. So not only will those turn maneuvers hurt at the moment, they're also more difficult now. And that's the hard turns, so the banks are still the same, but still not ideal right now. But it looks like this is where it's going to get fun and interesting. Everything is quite close into themselves now.
Mm.
And if Sabine wants to try and follow up behind everything, she's not got the best of positions because of where Rampage is. And obviously Wedge as well is going before Rampage and Gideon, so his options to turn in aren't great. He's not stressed, so he could potentially do a K-turn. But I've got the added difficulty of I've got that gas cloud right in front of me. Although there's no penalty in damage for going over it, removing that action is not going to be ideal for me.
No. I suppose Sabine could probably get away with some form of K-turn or the 3 signal loop.
She's stressed though.
Oh, of course, yeah, she is stressed.
I mean, if he dials it in, then he's got to do a 2 white. I'd take that, but I think Sabine's in a tricky position. Wedge, it should be okay.
Yeah, you can do maybe a 1 sharp or something.
Yeah. Hera, she could probably get around that gas cloud, but again, it all depends on where Wedge is going to be.
Yeah, she could probably...
I think Ahsoka's got a good angle there. But again, it's all going to come down to that initiative now, where Gideon ends up being. We've now got Captain Rex coming in, and
Yes.
Rex is just a bit of a pain, to be honest. Oh, there's the bump from Sabine. And a really hard turn in there from Wedge. Really hoping to get some good angles there. So does that make it tricky for Hera, or is she going to turn away and try and come back in?
Or could she K-turn?
She could. Okay, well there's Gideon trying to avoid that gas cloud there. Focus. Do we get a boost? Yep, boost. Nice. Out of Wedge's arc there. Got a fairly good shot lined up on Captain Rex. Potential block in on Ahsoka, unless she's gone fast. Rampage just going straight over the top. I think accepting his fate that he is damaged. There's flipping loose stabilizer. At least this means I can turn away from the board edge at some point, if I survive. But keeping that arc pointing back is going to be quite handy. Oh, there's a bump from Ahsoka. Looks like it might get her out of Gideon's arc, though. That's really tight. Do they miss each other, or do they catch each other?
I think they might catch the backs of each other
Almost
looking at it.
Almost like naval ships doing a broadside attack. But looking at those ships that are currently pointing towards Rampage, I don't think he's going to get a chance to turn. It's
No.
No, it's not looking good. Hera's after him. Hera does not like him. That's not good. I don't like.
It's a fancy new ship. She wants to blow it up.
Yeah. And Sienna is able to get past. Does she really want to be staying right there in front of Wedge? Does she go aggressive on Wedge or try and... Looks like aggressive on Wedge there.
It would make sense to try and focus him down.
Yeah. What has Suntir got up his sleeve? I think I'm just trying to debate whether I want to barrel roll with Sienna to see where Suntir is going to go. If barrel rolling Sienna makes more space for Suntir. Now, big question. I know there was a lot of debate about Sienna's ability in that if she destroys a ship, she gets a stress token. What's your opinion on Sienna as a pilot, obviously being an I-6 interceptor with that ability of gaining the stress when she destroys something, but also losing a stress when a friendly ship is destroyed? What do you think about that whole situation there? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's interesting?
I do think it's interesting because you can still obviously use the auto thrusters. Oh no, you can't use auto thrusters. Sorry.
Well, you've got the auto thrusters ability on there. So, but would her ability make it something that you wouldn't want to fly?
I definitely want to give it a go. Because some upgrades do work really well with stress.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a lot of debate about how it wasn't a great ability for an Initiative 6 ship. It kind of nullified her as an ace. The way I looked at it, and the way I found it quite interesting was, yes, obviously giving yourself a stress when you destroy a ship is not great. However, being an Initiative 6, it's likely that you're going to be one of the first ships shooting. And the first ship very rarely takes another ship out. You normally soften them up a bit, ready for someone else to come in and take the last health.
Yeah, unless you've got a really, really good dice roll on an already damaged ship, and I suppose depending on where you are on the board and with your asteroids as well, if you've dialed in a blue manoeuvre straight afterwards, I suppose it can work out quite nicely. I mean, I know the interceptors do have quite a lot of blue manoeuvres on there. I've had to use them quite a lot with Suntir. Is my favourite, is my boy, but
just quickly, 2 more damage in on Rampage there from Hera, so managing to get that evade and survive that. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, personally, I mean, her points, I think, are what save her. She's 48 points basic, which for an Initiative 6 pilot in an Interceptor is pretty good. I mean, she's the same amount of points as Gideon Hask. I'm just going to double check that because I've now just thought in my head 46 doesn't sound quite right. So let me just check.
She's 48.
48, yeah. So 48 points, the same as Gideon. I think 48 points isn't bad at all. Oh no, apologies guys, there was no damage on Rampage. Hera was using her S-threads, so now Rampage has a lot of locks on him.
It's not what you want with the load of A-wings behind you.
No. I'm ready to say bye-bye Rampage. But we do have Sienna taking her shot first before the rest of them will get to cause damage on Rampage. So range 2 on Ahsoka, 3v3 with a focus. Let's see. And flipping Rex's focus. Oh, that's a great shot. Oh, that's good.
No, Ahsoka.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about that, but I'm just doing a little happy dance right now.
I can see you doing your happy dance right now.
And that crit looks like it's also a damaged engine. So let's just wait for confirmation of that on the overlay, but damaged engine on A-Wing, not good. Can Soontir Fel finish off Ahsoka? No. Going in on Wedge there. I think because of the range 2 with no additional dice there, as opposed to 5 evades. Let's have a look. Spend that focus or not spend that focus? That is the question. Oh, no, not spending it. And that's just a shield down on Wedge. This is quite a good turn so far. A lot of damage going over back towards Fergus. I'm quite happy about all of that. So Ahsoka does get to have a revenge shot. She can try and do some damage to Rampage, or she can get some vengeance against Sienna.
Yeah, that is a very close range 3 shot at Rampage. So close.
Yes. Oh, and she's got a deplete as well. So going for that range 3 on Rampage. So spending the target lock, nothing there. Interesting choice there. I suppose it was 1v2 or 1v3. So kind of makes a little bit of sense. It's sort of a nothing shot. So Wedge will be going in at Rampage by the look of it, who gets his 1 solitary evade dice for being at range 3. And there's the focus spent from Wedge. And that's 2 more damage in. Oh, Rampage is getting hurt now. He doesn't like it.
No.
The advantage is, though, obviously he now does get to shoot back. My cards decided to stack in all on top of each other. Luckily, as we were playing this, I was doing the overlay, so I knew exactly where everything stood on the board. So Gideon just misses out on Ahsoka. Then that would have been perfect. That would have been a 5 dice shot at range 1 from Gideon there if he'd have had Ahsoka in arc. So going to be
That would have been good.
Going to be a range 2 on Captain Rex instead. And as we know quite well, TIE fighters can be tricky to actually hit. So let's see how successful this shot is. We have the focus, so that is good. So yeah, spend the focus, 2 hits. And Rex is also spending the focus. It would have been nice if we had a follow-up shot there, but not bad at all. And Rampage. Well, it's got to be a range 1 into Hera, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be done. When you've got him literally right there, it would be rude not to.
Yep. Just acquiring some calculate tokens there because of the target assist. So before you engage, if you have no green tokens and you're not stressed, gain 1 calculate token for each enemy ship at range 2 to 3 in your firing arc. Yeah, go for Hera there. I think it makes sense. Again, I think she's quite a dangerous piece, being able to like palm off that focus almost at any point she wants. That's not great though. Shame I can't borrow any of those target. Oh, that's just The dice really do swing sometimes. The dice can really swing. Obviously, I had some hot red dice there earlier, and then they let me down. And Fergus's green dice were letting him down, and then they suddenly got hot. So, again, a big facet of the game, of most board games and miniature games like this. So, Sabine taking a shot. Hit crit. Could this be the end of Rampage? Ooh, so the crit goes through. What is the crit?
Is it double damage?
I can tell you it's not a direct hit. There's a lot of text on there, so it is a structural damage.
Oof.
So my solitary evade dice is no more. And Captain Rex looks like he's going in on Gideon. So just the one. And it does apply this suppressive fire token. And there's the solitary evade that I needed. So a lot happening that round. A lot of hit points suffered by Rampage. Left now on 1. Also, Wedge and Sabine taking a bit of damage, and Ahsoka taking quite a big hit there.
Yeah.
So just a shame that Gideon wasn't quite in a position to finish her off. And obviously a bit unfortunate for Fergus that he couldn't quite finish off Rampage. And just to update, it was a damage engine that Ahsoka suffered there, so it does mean that her hard turn maneuvers are now increased in difficulty. So losing some of those blue hearts that the A-Wing has. So that should make it a red 1 hard and 3 hard and a white 2 hard, if I remember their dial.
Gosh. Points are so close as well. So close. It
is so very close at the moment. It's also quite an interesting stage now, because Rampage could turn away and still have his gun facing back into the fight. And it then comes down to, does Fergus essentially assign someone to chase Rampage down just to finish him off? Or does he try and ignore Rampage and send everyone in after the 3 interceptors who are right in among the chicken coop now?
I'd say go after the interceptors. I mean, either way, exactly where Rampage is going to go. He's got to turn. He's got no choice, otherwise he's off the board. So I'd say it would definitely make sense to go after the interceptors, especially when they're literally right there.
Yeah.
See if we can get some revenge for them hitting Ahsoka so hard.
I mean, as a character, I do love Ahsoka, and I do feel kind of bad that I've hit her quite hard in this game, but in terms of the game, I really wish I'd taken her out. I would have been pretty good at that point.
Yeah, I love Ahsoka. I mean, I'm a huge Imperial person, but as Jedis go, Ahsoka is my favourite. Even though she isn't a Jedi, she left the Order, but she's still cool.
Yeah, she's a top tier character. But yeah, at the moment it's very finely poised. I mean, if those A-Wings can get some serious shots in on one of those interceptors, it could be quite a tricky situation. But they kind of have to catch them. And although they've got the dial to do it, they've still got to go in the right direction to be able to follow them. think it is probably at the moment easier for those A-wings in that they're coming towards the side of the interceptors, so they've got more scope to turn in. Whereas if you look, Sienna and Gideon are both stressed, so they haven't got any way of sort of turning around quickly to keep on target. Soontir is free to do whatever maneuver he wants, but it's getting very congested in there.
It's going to be very difficult for him to, I mean, yeah, he's not stressed, but it's going to be difficult for him to figure out where he's going to go, especially with 3 A-wings practically wanting to give him a huge hug.
Yeah, and it looks like Sabine has elected to go in for the interceptors. Wedge is sort of hedging his bets there a little bit as to which way Rampage goes. If Rampage goes right, that's not great. But if Rampage goes left right now, oh, he's gone left. That's not bad.
Wow.
That could be quite good. It'll be interesting to see where Ahsoka and Hera go, because if they can get to him before it gets to the I-4 step, it's going to be really interesting. And so Gideon is just trying to clear that stress now. Now, this is what I always find tricky with like nimble little ships like this. You're now facing away. Do you double down on actions to get to try and turn round that rock, kind of like I'm looking like I'm trying to do there? Or do you just take the focus and aim for the K-turn next turn? I always find that really tricky. It's always a big debate as to which one is going to be the better option.
I suppose it depends where the other ships are. I mean, say for example with Gideon right there at the bottom, I would say he probably could have just got away with, doing the K-turn or setting himself up for the K-turn next round, because all the ships are at the top of the board, whereas the other ones are a bit, I'd say probably try and swing themselves around.
Yeah. Ooh. So, looks like Ahsoka is going to try and get out of the fight there and hopefully take out Rampage. If she's able to take out Rampage, then that's good. Hera is really congested with A-wings there. This is not a nice place. This is not a nice place that you want to end up. I mean, Sabine and Hera pointing down. This doesn't look like it's going to be a good spot for Sienna to end up in.
Or Soontir.
Yeah, I'm really struggling to see where Soontir can even go. I mean, does he just say, "Oh well"? No, he's gone for the get out maneuver, and
is he on the cloud?
He's clipped the cloud and takes a strain. That's not good. I mean, luckily, looks like it'll only be potentially Sabine that would have arc on him, but that would then be 3v2.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
No, Sienna just clearing that stress. I think with Sienna right now, you do just need to push it and then get round, like just boost, or focus boost, and then just come round that debris cloud there in the middle. Try and get as far out of Hera's way. See if you can get beyond range 3. Also, if you do that boost, you might be able to get beyond the arc of Sabine there. There we go. So we've got that boost. So unless Rampage survives, there'll be no attacks coming from me this turn. So let's see what Hera's got. Ooh, just clipping Sienna at range 3.
Oof, that's close.
Yeah, and it's disappointing. This is where it's kind of wish I'd done that focus boost now. So let's see. 2v4. Well, it looks like it's the shooting the S threads by the look of it.
Yeah. I suppose it would make sense setting them up for next round with target locks.
It also allows the extra tokens that she can then transfer around. So, yeah, there we go. So, target locks going in there. So that's everyone able to get a target lock in on Sienna. You'd almost think that she'd caused a lot of damage to Ahsoka and people were angry with her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the most target locks I've seen dished out to a ship. Obviously, for those of you that watched the 3-player Rumble last week, you'd have seen a lot of target locks from Connor's Imperial Squadron. And if you haven't watched those games, definitely check them out. They were an absolute laugh. You get to see Vader in all his glory. Bye-bye, Rampage. Bye-bye.
Oh, he did good. To last this long, he did quite well. Bless him.
Yeah, I think he did kind of what he was there to do, which was be a bit of a distraction, soak up some of the fire that could potentially have been coming the way of the interceptors, and just like dish out damage where he could. Ooh, so it's a range 1.
At Suntier.
Suntier, is it? Yeah, range 1 at Suntier, so 3v2. I mean, you can't really blame Fergus. That's a perfect shot. 3 hits.
I love Suntier, but that is a good roll.
Oh, and that's 2 damage going through on Suntier, so that is half points on a very expensive ship. In fact, I think Suntier is the most expensive ship on the board there. So a massive point swing now into Fergus's favour. But that is the last of the shooting. Suppressive fire comes off because Rex didn't shoot at anything. So now Fergus is free to completely concentrate on the interceptors. They're in a fairly good position to come back round. Obviously, Ahsoka, I'm wondering if Fergus is going to try and keep Ahsoka a little bit further back and out of the way. Try and keep her alive.
I'd say maybe fly her off to the top of the board with a blue maneuver to try and clear that stress. The interceptors are all facing the other direction, so yeah, even though they're probably going to try and turn around or do some form of K-turn to get back in the action, she should be 90% sure that she'll be out of range of them this round.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at it, Gideon looks like he's definitely going to be coming around that rock to try and head off Rex. I wouldn't be surprised if Sienna and Suntier both maybe turning up the board hard rights. I think Suntier wants to try and set himself back up to come in on a really good approach.
Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult with a gas cloud straight in front of him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really interesting one. Again, those A-wings they're so nippy, and I think it's one of those things where it's trying to keep that time on a specific target. When that target is really fast, it's hard to do that. I mean, if Gideon had managed to get a shot in on Ahsoka, that would have been potentially a completely different game right now. But the margin there that he was out by was so small. Yeah, I think it's definitely the momentum is currently in Fergus's favour. But again, as we've seen, it can swing so quickly in these games.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I've seen one ship with one hull take out a couple of ships at a time. It all depends on those dice rolls, how well you fly it, and it's just cool to watch.
Yeah. I mean, there we go. Quick little turn there from Rex and the barrel roll. Interesting, clearing space for those A-wings. Bump from Sabine. So she'll definitely be going over the gas cloud next turn, I reckon. Ooh, wedge fit in there like, well, hesitates he's a pub, but he's just wedged himself right in there. Boosting round, yep. So we've definitely got a chase on here from Wedge. He wants to grab some shots. I've just realised Sienna's not actually stressed, so maybe we might see a K-turn from Sienna instead.
Yeah, it's difficult to see underneath all of those target locks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would definitely say if you're going to put target locks on ships, put them next to the ship, not on the base, but especially if you're playing in real life. Like, I never put tokens onto the ship's bases in real life, just because I think it just has the potential to get in the way, and it's clearer to see it when they're next to it. I like the fact that TTS with most tokens put them next to it. You see the stress token and focus on Gideon there, sitting quite nicely next to the ship rather than on the base. And there's Ahsoka running away to live another day. Coordinating a focus for Hera. I think one of the big differences as well between when you look at the I6 and I5 and Fergus's Hera and Ahsoka, their abilities are very much more focused on that teamwork ethic that you do see in Rebels, whereas you look at like Soontir, it's very much I've got you in bullseye, I get a focus, don't really care about anyone else. Sienna, obviously, if one of her team gets destroyed, she loses the stress. And Gideon, if you're damaged, he gets more dice. It's definitely a much more ruthless side of things there in the Imperial squad. And there is that K-turn from Sienna. I like it. Might just be out of range of Wedge, but will catch Rex. Soontir doing that too hard. Can he get an angle onto Ahsoka? Boost right barrel roll. We'll go for the barrel roll first. Barrel roll. Stay there or take the boost? I think it might be better to stay there. I think if I boost, I won't get arc, and then it runs the risk of me being shot by Ahsoka. At least this way. Although Rex has a shot, it is obstructed by the gas cloud. That's a real tricky one there. But I mean, the timer is running down. We've got 17 minutes left. And a few points that I need to try and pick up here now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gap now as compared to earlier on where there is 26 to 24 points, and now it's 26 to 75.
Yeah, and to bridge that gap for me is a lot harder because Fergus's ships aren't worth as many points as my ships. So, I mean, if we have a look at it, Hera's 45, Ahsoka's 51, Wedge is 36, Sabine is 38, Rex is 28. I need to take out a ship and probably get half to get back into this. So it's definitely tricky. But looks like so nothing for Hera. Trying to find my ship to actually do the arc through all of those target locks. Again, another reason why I think it's always good to maybe put the target locks next to the ship rather than on, because it can provide a bit of interference there. So range 3 into Rex. The good thing is we also now know that Wedge does not have a shot, which is always nice. 2 hits, not bad. Make it count? No.
Always good when you get nice defensive dice like that. Naturals as well.
Oh, I don't know. I might disagree on that a little bit. But that's just because it was against me there. So nothing from Ahsoka. We know that Wedge is out. We know that Sabine is out. We know Gideon is definitely out. He's facing all the cards. And a range 3 through the cloud on Soontir. So 5 of 8 dice. A random green dice sneaking in there. Looks like Fergus is trying to give me an extra green dice to really help out. It's 1 hit. So there's the evades I need. I was going to say, if I'd have rolled all eyes there, that would have been brutal because that would have done it because I'd have nothing to change them with. And the gas cloud. And that would be the actual bigger insult than having 5 blanks. It's five focuses with nothing to change them with.
Yeah.
Right, so we are back down to dials. A bit of a slower engagement phase than we've had in the last few rounds, but it is shaping up to have a bit of a showdown here. Possibly Soontir versus Ahsoka, and then a big melee in the middle there, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Soontir and Ahsoka, it would make sense for them to sort of have like a head-to-head battle, and the others to sort of melee at each other.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna be an interesting round, this. This is kind of, I think this next round, I think, is where it's won or lost. It's kind of nerve-wracking, actually, when it gets to this sort of stage.
But things can change so quickly, though, with this game, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, I do have a lot of respect for these A-Wing pilots here. They are some really solid pilots, and they're so cheap as well.
Mm.
They're just, it is impressive how cheap they actually are. I mean, every single one of my ships is pretty much more points.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the cheapest A-Wing that is on the board right now is Sabine at 38 points. Oh no, sorry, I lie. It's Wedge at 36.
Yeah.
And that's with an upgrade on as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, hands down, the absolute cheapest is Rex at 28 points. But granted, he's not got any upgrades on him. But it's so easy to see, like things like the dreaded A-Wing swarms, because they're so cheap. You can fit as many as you want in.
I think the thing that makes A-Wing swarms interesting is obviously they are nippy, they're quick, and it's hard to catch them. But I think as James found out in one of the earlier games, when he was using his RZ2s, the thing that really hampers them is their lack of teeth. It's that 2-dice attack. So they've either got to just focus fire and strip tokens and try and hope for the best, or get right in close to really make the most of their attacks. And I think that's kind of where the A-Wing almost falls down a bit. But then again, you've got some great A-Wing pilots. We don't see him on the board, but Jake as an A-Wing pilot is fantastic. Wedge with his essentially his inbuilt outmaneuvers is great. Hera, she's just, for her points, she's such a great ship. I mean, in this build with the S-Threads and Hopeful, she is 45 points for an I6. That's just crazy.
Good. It's.
I mean, that's cheaper than Sienna Ree with no upgrades. And right now, there is a very interesting kill box, well, a kill area forming there. Gideon is in a really nice position. If Sienna can capitalise on that, I think it's need to focus down Sabine right now. This is a good position to try and.
It looks as if Hera and Rex are gonna, well, at least Hera anyway is gonna try and put some good damage in on Suntia.
Yeah, but we've got
Rex following behind.
We've got the focus from Sienna. Will Sienna boost in to get that range 1 on Sabine? Go on. Do it.
Hating it.
Do it. I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, if you don't boost. I think that was a mistake. I am now kicking myself now. I think that should have boosted with Sienna. Yes, it would have potentially given Wedge that range 1 shot, but I think it would have really potentially guaranteed that Sabine would go down. I mean, I think Wedge is already at range 1, so it wouldn't have mattered. I think that was a mistake there. Soontir trying to get some additional range on away from Hera. Does he have bullseye?
Yep, looks like it.
I don't think so. I think he might have just missed out on bullseye, but he's still got the focus.
Either way, Ahsoka's crying right now. She's scared.
Yeah, it's not a great position. So just the focus there from Hera. Does she use it? I'd be surprised not using it. So Soontir does get to use his focus on attack there. Can he take out Ahsoka? It's 4v3.
Come on, Ahsoka.
With a lot of mods there. Focus each on the Force. Deadeye shot is not on because we're not in bullseye. Double crit, that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
That unfortunately is just enough. Oh. For a target lock on a TIE Interceptor without having to put target computer on there, that would be great.
That'd be quite handy.
Go and range 1 on Wedge instead. So 2 hits after spending that focus. The dice have got a bit cold here. But that is the final shield down on Wedge. No, there's the evade token. Thought he had a focus. That's a little bit frustrating. Means that we don't get the additional punch there from Gideon.
Come on, Ahsoka.
Can Ahsoka finish off the Baron? With a dice roll like that, she could. Oh, that's painful.
Oh, someone's here.
Yeah, that's more than likely game over right now.
Oh, gosh.
2 crits going through. Doesn't matter what they are. Soontir is dead.
Oh, God. I mean, I love Soontir. It's one of my favourite ships and pilots to fly, but I have to admit, I do feel quite happy for Ahsoka right there.
Yeah. So that was a wounded pilot and a direct hit. So, yeah, very dead. Very dead. And I think with 6 minutes left to go, I think it's probably quite safe to say that's definitely gone into Fergus's favour right now. I would need to do a lot of damage and not take any more to really pull this off. I mean, it's doable. It is doable, but checking to see if Wedge is within Hera's bubble to steal her focus in the modified dice step.
Is he? No, it doesn't look like he's in.
Not that he requires it. That's 2 hits and locating his target lock from somewhere within the mess of locks there. So Wedge spending his lock. Getting 3 hits, so that is definitely 1 damage going through on Sienna. That's 2 damage, that's even more points lost. Yep. It's at this point you just hit flip table, right? If
yes.
if the game doesn't finish, it doesn't count, right? I mean, in all fairness, again, another well-flown game by Fergus. I will say, he's a very tough opponent he's one of the toughest opponents I've come up against. He does practice his lists a lot. That's not bad, hit crit. Come on, fingers crossed, let's get some more points on the board. Nope.
Oh, God.
Daddies. Yeah, so I mean, Fergus, he's a very good opponent. He knows what he wants to do with his list. He knew exactly what he wanted to do here. He wanted Hera to be in there to really support, get those target locks out there, provide focuses. Ahsoka again was there to use her essential force coordinate. There we go. So that's using Hera's focus on Sabine, and that's even more points. Nope. Just the one there, just the one. Managed to avoid shipping any more points out there. Just. Yeah, I mean, he's flown it very well. I mean, I think the dice, and I hesitate to say this, the dice did have a big factor in there. But again, he got himself in the right positions to really capitalise on the attacks that he had. So, yeah, very well flown there, Fergus.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've still got just under 3 minutes to go, but I'm pretty safe to say that he's definitely made it to the final with James, barring a catastrophic turn there. Maybe he just does 5 forwards with a load of 5 forwards with all of his A-wings and just suicides off the board. Yeah, I think the new pilots in the Phoenix Squadron pack are very good. Again, Hera, I do think that we may see her go up in points, though. I think for her points, she's very, very good. But yeah.
It's been a good game to watch.
Yeah. It's just nice seeing like interceptors really zipping around each other And I use interceptors to encompass the A-wings there because they are essentially interceptors. Just fast ships, zipping around, and just taking shots at each other. And I mean, essentially as well, the way that Fergus has coloured them all, they're essentially Power Ranger A-wings. So, I mean, Rex has just been there to support. He hasn't really had to do much. Just be there, really.
Yeah, sit there and look pretty in his painted stolen tie.
Yeah.
That is the only Rebel ship I actually own in the flesh, just because it looks awesome.
Is that because I bought most of the other ones off you?
Yeah, pretty much. It's the only one I kept.
I mean, I don't blame you. It's such a cool paint job on that as well. And like so much so that I sort of emulated that style on one of my K-Wings, just in blue rather than the reds and oranges. But it is really cool. And I do love the episodes in Rebels where they've got that TIE fighter. They're just so funny. Like just seeing them all crammed inside the cockpit, just be like, right, now what do we do?
It just looks cool. I mean, I've claimed it back for the Empire, but like, say for example, if I was to do a mini swarm in an epic game where you have that that wing leader upgrade card on, at least I know exactly who that wing leader is going to be.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's pretty fancy. He's got his painted tie, and he's just like, yep, he's in charge.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, if I was ever going to repaint a ship, it would be that one, but it'd be like in pinks and purples because, yeah, I've got pink tokens and all sorts.
I think that start in the pink and purple would look really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Definitely worth having a look at. But let's see how we end up here. So I'm going to get a couple more attacks coming out, so we'll just see how the points finish up. That's an aggressive move. Definitely wanted to try and see if we could actually take Ahsoka out. Be interested to see how well that works. She's managed to hold on the whole way through.
Just that one hole.
Yeah. And a range 3 shot through the cloud from Hera at Sienna. One hit. Target lock. And there we go. Gas cloud to the rescue. And it is range 2 through the cloud. 3v4. 3 hits in there. This could do it. Do we see Ahsoka go down right at the end? Nope. Gas cloud.
Oh, good.
Oh, the gas clouds. I mean, I was the one that brought them along as well, so I can only blame myself there. But I do like the gas clouds.
I'm quite a traditionalist in terms of obstacles. I always love using my the asteroids and the debris clouds. However, the more I fly games with the asteroids in, with the gas clouds in, yeah, they work so well.
Yeah, they are really good. They're quite forgiving, but also they can just add a slightly different element to the game. And there's one hit coming from Ahsoka there. And that would be enough to get some more points on the board for Fergus.
Oh, gosh.
Ooh, it's tricky now. But I think we're going to have the final shot from Gideon. Never got to use his ability. So, range 2 on wedge.
Thought he was going to go at Rex there. I forgot that wedge was underneath.
Yeah.
Blends in so well with the landscape of Endor.
Indeed it does. One hit, so with the evade token there, absolutely nothing. So in the end there, quite a solid victory for Fergus. Well flown there. And he progresses to the final against James. So that is looking like it's going to be a very interesting game there. If we go all the way back in the last one, James did manage to get the win there with his Alphabet Squadron after losing his attack side of that wing, and all of his defensive ships came in and actually did the work. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the final there. But Amy, I just want to say again, thank you very much for coming along to commentate this with me. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did, yeah. Thank you so much for having me back. It was a really good game to watch.
No worries. Well, it's always a pleasure to have you commentating with us on the channel. But guys, again, thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. As always, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell, and press like, and we will see you next time.